So we're going to discuss Natasha today. I don't know, I might get struck, right? Um, she doesn't know who I am from Adam, but her community, from the last I seen, you have to excuse me. I'll be clearing my throat, maybe coughing here. It's just those allergies. Now we're into the fall allergies, right? Um, her community is on a striking spree, I guess. Natasha is on a striking spree. Um, but we're going to talk about a few things on, you know, fraud, maybe manipulation, just things that just don't sit right. And I want to ask her community a few things respectfully, okay? Now, because, when things don't make sense, then normally they're not true. And you just have to sit back and ask yourself. And I'm sure that there's a lot in her community that are thinking the same thing. I mean, you have to be. And I'm not going to degrade anybody. I'm not. But a lot of things just don't add up. They don't. Okay? And a lot of people have to be thinking the same thing, even though they really enjoy Natasha. They might really care about her, but they have to be asking themselves these same questions. They just dare not to. Uh, they enjoy their community. They enjoy their friendship. That's where they belong. They don't belong anywhere else. They don't want to be anywhere else. But I guess her two of her other channels that are monetized went down. Now, in my opinion, it's when it gets monetized, it's when it's getting noticed, right? Some of them before they were monetized, would get noticed by YouTube. And they go down. Again, yes, she is ban evading. She absolutely is. Because if you read with terms of service, she keeps saying that she's not. And she's saying that she had her channel in her name. And then she got monetized. Well, some things get by YouTube. We know that, right? I'm sure it can get by YouTube. But once she gets monetized, I mean, YouTube is a big platform. There's so many people on there. And it might have took them a little bit of time. And I'm sure, I'm just going to say it. YouTube might have got a little bit of help, okay? There could have been reports saying, hey, this person is ban evading, all right, and harassing or bullying or whatever. I'm not saying that there wasn't any help involved of notifying YouTube that this person is not supposed to be on this platform. They've had, 15 plus channels taken down already. But it says right in their TOS over and over and over again. If you are terminated, well, I can't say over and over again, but if you read it, and I've said it over and over again, if you have been terminated, you are not allowed to own or create any other channels. She's ban evading. She is not allowed to be on YouTube. And we seen where she tweeted, I guess, we seen those messages when she's like, I'm being mass reported, and YouTube has came back and told her in other terms or whatever that they looked at it, and she went against TOS, and basically she was ban evading. All right. So, in my opinion, that's why she keeps getting taken down. Now, yeah, there's some other channels that are ban evading too. I know that. But the difference is, I don't think anyone that has been taken down and has came back up is monetized. I think that that's the difference. Um, should they be here too? Uh, no, not when you lose a channel. You're still going against TOS, but um, I think when you get monetized, now I do know some of her other channels went down before she got monetized, but when you get monetized, that seems like when it's, the big issue. But I don't think any other, at least the people that I know that has a channel up and they've already been terminated, once, they're not monetized. So, um, and she did make a comment. I was listening to one of her lives and she made a comment that, everybody out there is breaking TOS. She could be right about that, because in terms of service, it does say that you are not supposed to harass or bully. I don't harass or bully. So, I mean, I can't say everyone does. Um, I don't feel like I harass or bully, but yeah. Well, I guess if I talk about behaviors, I guess you can call that harassing because I'm saying names. But she is saying, everybody is breaking TOS. This is a drama community. People are going to talk about one another, right? Or it wouldn't be called a drama community. It'd be called, what, crafting or cooking or just true crime, or, everybody might as well just hang it up and stop their channel or go to a different community or do whatever, do something different. But she can be right about that. But she's been doing that from basically almost day one with the name calling and calling people out and stuff like that. So she can't say that it's wrong now. I mean, she's still doing it, even though she's ban evading. She's been taken down. She's still calling people names: fat, ugly, toothless, on and on and on. So she could be right about that. Uh, a lot of people go real life. Okay, that's a total big no-no. And I'm sure that a lot of other creators, just like herself, have been mass reported. That's what happens. And I'm sure her people, you can clearly tell in chat, and even before now, they have reported all these other creators and their channels are still up. And she has a big army. Like she said, she does. She has a big following. So why are their channels still up and hers aren't? Something else is going on. There's other bigger creators out there, bigger than this drama circle, right? That have been mass reported. And their channels are still up and going strong. It takes more than just being mass reported to get your channels taken down permanently. Because you have to have a real person, I've said this before, a real person look and see in the end if something really goes against TOS to take your channels down. Now, I can understand, maybe one, but not 15 plus. And all the videos before that that's been taken down and yada yada. Okay, we might do this in a two-parter because I don't want to go on for a long period of time. Okay? I mean, anyways, I won't even go there. But she's the only one, and I've been watching for 4 years. Okay? She's the only creator that I have known that has had so many channels go down, and she keeps coming back and keeps coming back, even though she said, I don't want nothing to do with this toxic circle or, YouTube. I got other platforms. I got other things to do. And she did. She went and started doing some other things. But she can't stay away from this toxic circle or YouTube. She can't. She can't stay away from it. All right? Because this is where the money's at. This is where it's at. That's just my opinion. And so, like I said, I've never seen it with any other creator. And there's been creators that, have been pretty ugly, right? And like I said, I know they've been mass reported. But they're still going strong. A few have went down, all right? But the majority are going strong. But they didn't do a lot of the things that Natasha has done. Now, what are the things that she has done that is different than the other creators out here that, might be doing some bullying and going against TOS, harassing. When I say harassing and bullying, I mean when you're talking about other people, maybe body shaming. And I guess if you keep talking about someone over and over again, that's called harassing, right? It could be, like I said, I could be put in that category because I'm talking about behaviors. So, or if you do videos talking about someone, that could be harassing, right? Bullying, I don't, I don't body shame anybody or make fun of anybody, so I don't think I could be put in that category. But a lot of people out there could be, if that goes against TOS. But a lot of the things that other, just in this circle, okay, they do not drop PayPal pools constantly, okay, and put funny names to it and talk about their money all the time, constantly, 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 okay? And that might be a big problem. That might be an issue. They don't do makeup sales, and that might be a big issue. Now, it's not an issue for me. That's the thing. It's not I don't see a big deal in it, with it. Like I said, with her PayPal pools, it's no different to me than another creator having their PayPal pool just sitting there. If you want to donate or dropping the link, in their chat. But with Natasha, with her making all these names to it and having them so often and talking about them continuously, that might have raised a red flag with YouTube and with PayPal. Okay? That might have went against their TOS. I don't know. I have no clue. So not only the bullying and harassing, going against their TOS and people flagging, videos that were very vile, or if the videos were about them and they flagged them, you have every right to do that, right? If you think that you're being targeted and harassed or whatever, you have every right to do that. But like I said, I have no issues with her PayPals. I do have an issue with the PI and the attorney. We'll talk about that in a minute. But her PayPals, I don't have an issue with those. But when she keeps making them, several of them, more than several, that could have raised a big red flag for YouTube because they're not getting their cut. And YouTube is a free platform for us all, right? Unless you upgrade or whatever. But when they get when people do super chats and memberships and stuff like that, they get their cut, and it's a pretty high cut. That's how YouTube makes their money, right? But when you're doing PayPal and Cash App, they're not getting their cut. When you're doing makeup sales and stuff like that, they're not getting their cut. So even though a lot of other creators, they have their PayPal links in their, they might have it scrolling across their thing, they might be dropping it or whatever, they don't have them continuously being talked about with all these funny names to them, these made up names, and continuously, I don't know if that makes sense or not. These makeup sales, again, YouTube is not getting any cut from them, from that. And I don't know if that could have raised a red flag either, because these are brand name makeup. If this is a no-no, I have no idea. I have no clue. Other people sell stuff on, on platforms, but are they brand name stuff from a different company? Could that have been an issue? Could these companies have got a hold of YouTube? We don't know. That's the thing. It's totally different than people selling crafts or, stuff like that. You are selling another company's item, brand new item. So as a vendor, I don't know. I have no clue. But that kind of makes sense that could have been an issue, right? It absolutely does make sense that it could have been. Because that company, right? That company, they would be losing out if they had all these people doing this. Getting their product cheap, dirt cheap, and then turning around and selling it for a fraction of what they charge people. I mean, if you think about it, if you had thousands and thousands of people doing this, they would be losing a ton of money. A ton. So it makes absolutely sense that this could have been an issue with the makeup too. I mean, if you think logically and put all of these factors in, not just one factor, but all of these factors on why her channel went down. Bullying, harassing, the PayPal funds being talked about and all these funky names to it, and then add on the makeup sales, right? It was like, to me, maybe a combination of it all. But then we have Natasha blaming everybody else. It's their fault. I was mass reported. I was targeted. They took my channels down. And her people are going to believe it. Her community is going to believe it. And like I said, she might have got mass reported. She might have got reported. I have no doubt. Let me put it that way. I have no doubt that a lot of people reported Natasha for different things. Just like I have no doubt that a lot of other creators got reported by Natasha's community for a lot of things. Okay? MRB, Granny's Watching, Voice for the Voiceless, CJ, the list goes on. I have no doubt. But that, in my opinion, would not have taken her channels down. And not permanently. She would have got them back up if they looked at her channels and said, no, you did not go against her. You didn't go against TOS. Okay? You didn't go against TOS. We don't find anything in there. Your channels are coming back. That didn't happen. It did not happen. It's been over, 4 months now the channels are not back that originally went down. So she comes back with other channels. Now, we'll talk about the lawyer a little bit more, but there's been so much talk about the lawyers, and I've said this before, in my opinion, if she really wanted her channels, right? If she really wanted her channels, the original channels, her attorneys would have told her, wait, if they were working on this, they would have told her, do not come back with other channels, because it says right in TOS that if you're terminated for any reason, that you are not allowed to own or create another channel and be on YouTube, be on the platform. And they would have told her, don't do it. We are working to get your channels back. And I've said, like I said, I've said it before. And if you do this, if you go against our advice, and you come back and you make another channel and go against TOS, how can we talk to Team Legal, okay, of YouTube or whatever, whoever they are? How can we tell them that you did not do anything wrong and that you deserve your channels back and you deserve to be on this platform when you go ahead and you do something that goes against TOS? We can't. So that's another reason why I don't think she has attorneys for this, and that they were working to get her channels back, like she said. Again, to her supporters, can you not see this? That is exactly what her attorneys would have told her. Don't create another channel. Don't get on one of your backup channels and get on the platform. Just like she did back at Christmas. Again, she went against TOS. This is major TOS things. I know you shouldn't be bullying and harassing, but it says if you're in timeout, if you got struck or whatever, and they put you in a timeout for 2 weeks, you are not allowed to get on one of your other channels and go live. Okay? They put you in timeout for a reason. And she did at Christmas. It was around Christmas time. She went on one of her other channels. She actually lost another channel. Okay? But then she went on the other one and went live and got it. I believe she got it monetized. She had all of her people go over to get it monetized, and then had it go on for hours and hours and hours and hours for those watch hours, right? To me, that's not doing it organically. I'm sorry. If you want to call that organically, just to have it go for hours, have a live go for hours, have all your people go over there, and then have it go, within a couple of days to get monetized. No, that's not organically. You did it within one video, 2 videos for out. That's not organically. No content was put out, whatever. But she absolutely did that around Christmas time. She got a couple of videos taken down, and she was on a 2-week timeout and went on to another channel. Now, could have YouTube looked at that as well, saying, this creator does not follow the rules? How many times has she had videos taken down? They could have looked at the whole picture, not just 1 or 2 things, but the whole picture, that she will not follow the rules when it comes to getting bans, 2-week bans or whatever, and then going on over to another channel that she has. And I'm sure she got reported. I'm sure people reported her that she was on another channel. Maybe YouTube knows that. I don't know. I don't know because I know mostly they're bots or whatever. But maybe they have all that information. Who knows? And they decided that she should not be on YouTube platform. They did not want her on their platform. They didn't want her percentage of, any money from her. If she got monetized again, they didn't want her money. They didn't want her percentage. So, moving on from that, okay, like I said, just to recap, her attorneys would have told her, we're trying to get your channels back. Stay on your other platforms, your Twitch, your Patreon, your website, Facebook. There's other platforms out there to make some money. Just don't create another channel or be on one of your backup channels, because this will not look good to YouTube. And her supporters have to agree with that. And she had them believing that she was not terminated, she was on a ban, because their memberships were put on hold. 4 months later, okay, and even though we seen it, it said that her YouTube channel was terminated. I mean, it's right there in black and white, and they still don't want to believe it. She was terminated. She is ban evading. Absolutely ban evading. They can go look up terms of service themselves. Even some of the creators that support her know this, because they know what the TOS says. They absolutely do. It's just, it blows my mind that some just can't see through it. And I get it. They like her, and they enjoy her, and they don't want to see her gone. But, I mean, sometimes you just have to, come to grips with the truth. Now, then we have her PayPal, okay? Again, she's blaming it on everybody else. How could everybody else have messed with her PayPal? Now, could they have reported it? That's possible. Absolutely possible. Or could it have been because of all these funny names she puts with it? Again, I have no issue with her dropping a PayPal every single day up to $100,000 if she wants to. It's her community. It's, her people. If they choose to donate, they choose to donate. I don't care. But a lot of them, I believe, if not all, I'm not sure, is under that generosity, right? PayPal generosity. And in their terms of service or whatever, it specifically says that the name that you use for your PayPal, it has to be used for what you say it's going to be used for. It says that. So if you're putting these funky names to it, that goes against their terms of service with PayPal. If you say that you're going to use it for a casino, and I think that's a big no-no. I could be wrong. But I think gambling is a no-no with PayPal. Like I said, I could be wrong. People can correct me on that one. But when you are putting on there for school supplies, I mean, that could be okay. But when you're putting on there, this is for my haters, or to, and I'm just making this because I can't remember all of the names. But just some of the ridiculous names that she would make up, it was clear, okay, some of them, if I'm not mistaken, didn't it have like a dildo name in it? I don't know. Because there's been so many. But wouldn't that have flagged PayPal that something is not right here? Something is not right. Because surely this is not being used for this. Especially if it was under the generosity. Okay? Because the names were absolutely ridiculous. Now, were they just, funny names? She said they were always to get back at the haters. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But they, in my opinion, it flagged PayPal. It flagged them. And now she was terminated by PayPal. I don't know how a person can get someone else's PayPal taken from them. That makes no sense. You can mass report until the cows come home and say somebody is doing fraudulent things. But PayPal, they're going to look at that, okay? They might look at it. And PayPal takes their fees, and especially someone that's bringing in a lot of money like Natasha. They're getting a lot of, they're getting their cut of the deal. They're not just going to cut somebody off and say, you are not to use my services again. We don't want you. We don't want you. Unless there was something fraudulent, something major going on, and they cut ties and say, we don't want your service no more. We don't want our cut from you no more. We don't want nothing to do with you anymore. Okay? Somebody had to personally look at it and see something wasn't right. So it does not matter if she was mass reported by, with PayPal. They had to have looked to see that something major was up and going on, and they didn't like it. Not somebody on YouTube. Nobody can take her PayPal down off of YouTube. It was PayPal themselves that seen something was up. Just like with her bank account. I did a video way back. Nobody outside, on YouTube could have taken her bank account down. Or messed with her bank account to where they froze the account and said, we don't want to do business with you anymore. If that's the case, then anybody out on the street, your ex-friend, a family member, can call up and say, hey, they're doing fraudulent things on their bank account. And then your bank account's going to be like, or your bank is going to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to close your account because so-and-so on YouTube or your ex or your friend says you're doing fraudulent things, and well, I'm going to believe them. See how stupid that sounds? But yet with Natasha, all these things happen. I mean, come on, her community, they have to realize that this is not people on YouTube that are doing this stuff to her. She's doing it to herself. There's something she is doing with her bank accounts, with PayPal. How many times did she say this has happened with PayPal? Is this what, the second or third time? Third, I think. And maybe third time, 3 times strike. We're done with you. How many channels have went down? How many videos have been deleted? Doggies bark, you got to put it on pause. This can't be everybody else, okay? I'm sorry, it can't be. And then all this other crazy stuff that's happening. People digging in her garbage can, doors being broken into. She didn't show proof of that, but hey. Just all this weird stuff that's always a crisis. Always. And we're going to talk about that too. Always a crisis. Always. But again, like I said, I've never seen a creator I, with so many, with so many crises, had so much stuff happen with her money, with PayPal, channels going down. I mean, it's a little nuts. So we're going to move along from that. Do I believe that Natasha has had a lot of people reporting her? Absolutely. Okay? No doubt. Just like I believe a lot of other creators have had a lot of people reporting them. But the difference is, I don't believe I don't believe that's the reason why Natasha's having all these issues. Okay? I don't. She's going to have to take accountability for her own actions. Now, let's remove all of the things that's happened in the past before YouTube, okay, with Natasha and money that's been put in her hands that, I mean, that she's had issues with. It's always been somebody else's fault. We've heard the stories, right, from her own mouth and what has happened. I'm not even going to go over that. Off of YouTube, all the stories, it's always been somebody else's fault. She's never taken accountability for any of it. But now we're on YouTube and all these other things, everybody else's fault. All right, let's move past that. Now, I heard she's keeping, for the last 10 months or so, she's been keeping a spreadsheet on everybody. But yet with MRB, she made fun of that. What else? She wasn't her attorneys going to go after MRB because she was keeping spreadsheets on all of her people and yada yada yada. Yeah, okay. But yeah, she's doing that too. For what? I don't know. But now I've said that I'm one that I don't care if she drops PayPal after PayPal. I don't care, about the makeup sales. I don't care if she goes to the casino on a daily. I mean, that's none of my business. Have at it. Giddy up. But one thing that gets to me is her method of making the money. All right? The way she goes about it. Now, still in the end, it's up to her community and it's their business if they donate. But it's the method that she uses to get that money. And the first one we're going to talk about it is Douche Canoe. I think we all know that Douche Canoe doesn't exist. And she'll say, well, a lot of you don't think he exists. Well, she's been busted at least twice with Douche Canoe, okay? And I don't know how her community doesn't figure it out or hasn't seen it. There's clips out there already. But, I mean, come on. The only time that she would talk about Douche Canoe is when she talked about the money. And when the money, her PayPal pools, were not getting donated to, and then here she mentions Douche Canoe, and then people would start donating. But when I say she got called out, or where it was kind of busted, and the clips are out there, Douche Canoe would call on her YouTube phone, right? Or text, not call, text, and mention her PayPal only being at a certain amount, and she would be, oh, douchey, or Douche Canoe, and then he got a brother. I don't know. I mean, you cannot make this up, right? He got a brother, too. But she, twice, I seen it twice, but they put it out, they put the clip out one time. You would have to look at that phone, that YouTube phone, to see that text. She was looking straight at either the camera or the computer, whatever she uses to film herself, and she must have forgot that she didn't have her phone in her hand when she mentioned douche canoe again. Yes, douche canoe, I know that I only have, and she said the amount in my PayPal. And then one time, then she picks up the phone and looks at it after she said that. Another time, I think the clip that's out there, she says the same thing. Yes, douche canoe, I know. I only have whatever. And she doesn't even pick up the phone. Right? She's looking straight at either the camera or the computer, whatever she's using. She doesn't even have the phone in her hand or looking at it to see that he sent her a text on her phone. She was called out. She was busted. There is no douche canoe. All right? He was used, in my opinion, for a manipulation tactic to every time that he was brought up by her, then it was to remind people to start donating. And then that's when they started donating to her PayPal. Because right after, she would be like, well, thank you for donating to my PayPal. Thank you for donating to my PayPal. It was a reminder. To me, that's manipulation. And lying. She got called out. It's there. The clip is out there. The phone is not in her hand. How do you know that douche canoe just texted you that message about your PayPal? The phone's clearly not in your hand. You're looking straight at the camera when you said it. I seen that live, okay? And the one that I seen, like I said, after she said that, she then picked up her phone right after. I think she realized the mistake she made. And she picked up her phone afterwards and then looked at it after she said it. All right? And I'm sorry, but her community, a lot of them had to have picked that up. They had to have. No doubt. But they're not going to say anything because they like Natasha. They have nowhere else to go. And they like their creator. No matter what she does, they're going to stand behind her. They know she's lying. Douche canoe is not real. He was a reminder to donate. All right? And another thing about douche canoe. If you are getting, and she's like, I wish he was fake and he would just go away and he would stop texting me and blah, 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 blah. If you are getting all these harassing messages, phone calls, text, whatever, why would you not change your YouTube phone number and not give it out to the world? That makes no sense. Because she says she kept blocking douche canoe, right? She kept blocking him. And he kept making up these fake numbers. What? On a daily? So he's making up these fake numbers continuously just to mention her PayPal. He's not saying anything else. He's not calling her names or making jabs at her. He's just talking about her PayPal. That makes no sense. So if you're getting all these harassing messages, why would you not change that YouTube number and only give it out to your community? Now, of course, when you have falling outs, because with Natasha it happens like all the time, that number's going to leak out here and there, but you're not going to have it out like it is now. So you're not going to get all these harassing messages. So in my opinion, that is a manipulation to keep reminding people to donate by making up this douche canoe. I thought he was fake to begin with. All right. Just the way she would talk about him And it was only at donation time. Kind of like the preacher when he, with the money, passing the money around. And I do not want to degrade any preachers, okay? I'm just using that term because I'm a Christian. I haven't been to church for a while, but my foster grandfather was a preacher. I adored him, went to church all the time growing up. But it's like I'm saying, I'm trying to use it like, when they pass the plate around. That's, in my opinion, what douche canoe was. He was the plate to be passed around for donations. So she also, in my opinion, would do a lot of manipulation by saying everybody was talking about her money. Now, yeah, I would listen, I would hear people talking in passing about PayPal pulls and talking about, money here and there, but not like she wanted her community to believe. All right. Um, they would say things, like I said, here and there. But she made her community, because a lot of the people in the community, they said, we do not go and listen to anybody. We stay right where we're at. We don't. We don't listen to any, all these other people. They did not talk about her money as much as she said they did. And she would make a big deal about it. She talked about her money on every single live. A lot of that was her content, was talking about her money and talking about how others were talking about her money. And in my opinion, that was another manipulation to keep the money talk going, to get people to donate. Another maybe manipulation. Let's get back at them haters. They want to talk about my money and about this and that. Let's get back at them. Because one time when she said that all these people they have done that they went live and they're all talking about, how much money I'm getting. I did go, and they were all replays, but I went back and it was the major haters, quote haters. And I did go back and I listened to their lives. And this is a little while back. I listened to the lives that they had that night that she said that, to kind of prove my point. And only a couple said like a few things about her money. And they called her scammer, and that was it. It was just in passing. But she made it sound like that they made their lives solely about her money. And that's not true. But yet her community, they thought it was. And she was getting those donations. Because, they're thinking they shouldn't worry about how much you get. They're all jealous. They're jealous. So let's donate to our queen. Let's give them something to be mad about and to talk about and to be jealous about. Again, to me, that's manipulation. So another one, and we're just going to go through the list. Like I said, I'm going to put this in 2 parts because I don't want it to go on for a long period of time. It's already going on for a long period of time. Another one, she keeps pointing out that over and over again, shoving it in everybody's mind, that everybody is calling her community, her subs, mental, that they got a mental illness, they must be on food stamps or disability. Now, I have heard of a few people say that here and there. okay? Or a while back. And then, like I said, here and there, that she must, take their hard-earned money, and some might not have brain cells because they believe everything that she says, and they might be living on disability, paycheck to paycheck, whatever. But she is using what has been said just in passing, and she says it over and over and over again to get it in their heads that all these other creators are saying this continuously about the subs, saying it all the time. So when you're using that manipulation and making your subs think that all these creators are saying all this about you, that, nothing wrong about having mental issues or being on disability or, getting food stamps if you need it. But in my opinion, it's another manipulation to donate. So they're thinking in their head, well, we're going to prove those haters wrong. We're not on disability. Or even if we are, we got money to donate. Or I ain't got mental health issues, but even if I do, I still can donate. Or I'm not on welfare, but even if I am, I could still donate. And that's when the donations would come flying in again. All those videos are down. The majority, she's still got one channel up and some backups or something, or 2 channels up. I have no idea. But if you would watch them and watch them closely, you would see, in my opinion, where the manipulation came in at. Because when she would talk about all that stuff, then she would say, thank you, because that's when they came in. Thank you for the PayPal. Thank you, whoever sent the PayPal. After she would talk about all that stuff. Or the other one is when all these crises happened. All these crises. And she wants to talk about other people in their, if they put a PayPal out because they're having a need, right? But she talks about all these different things that are happening in her life that's just a major, major crisis. And as soon as she's done with that, sometimes tears flow. And then it's, thank you for the PayPal. Thank you for the PayPal. Thank you for the PayPal. That's when the donations start coming in. So that's what I'm talking about when I say I have no issue with her with PayPals, okay, at all. What I do have an issue with is the method. In my opinion, it's manipulation. I don't want to use the word brainwashing. Maybe reverse psychology. In my opinion, Natasha's very good at it. I've never seen a creator, in the 4 years that I've been watching, I've never seen a creator use these tactics that Natasha uses. And like I've said it before, I know she's helped out her community. And maybe that is why, too, that she has such a strong following. And, a lot of people, they don't mind donating as much as they donate. And they keep donating. And they like her, too. They like her sass. Maybe they enjoy her dragging people. I don't know. Because she does. She absolutely does. And we're going to talk about that on the next video. We're going to talk about her attorneys, this PI, we're going to talk about some possible fraud going on. Um, could it be? Could it not be? Don't know. But I'm going to end this video. Like I said, I don't want them to be so long. Um, but yeah, her community is at war. They are striking everybody. They have had it in chat that they have been. So, you know, I don't care if my channel goes down. It's just a channel. But, you know, we have other people out there that also depend on feeding their children and paying the bills. So, yeah, I seen the comments, and a lot of people said they have been reporting, and some people even have a file, notebook on stuff, and they have been doing this, and they're going to report here and there. Well, not here and there. They're like full force. I'm sorry, full force out reporting. They went over to report Mama Knows Best. And Natasha's telling them to. She is telling them to go do it. Report them all. If my channels went down, I want all of their channels to be down. She even said if it takes me the next 5-10 years, they will go down. Mark my word. Well, Natasha, if they don't do anything wrong, their channels aren't going to go down. But she is, yeah, they're on the attack. All right. And this is the thing. That's kind of inciting hate. And Natasha doesn't care if this channel goes down that she's on. She doesn't care. She'll come up with another one. And she already said that. So she absolutely doesn't care if her channel goes down. Now, the creators that are in her community, she's kind of putting your channels at risk. I mean, I don't know if you care about your channels, but she's kind of putting them at risk. Because some people might try to attack your channel because, I mean, are you bullying and harassing with your channels too? I mean, she did say everybody, right? Everybody out there goes against TOS. What do your channels have on it? Do you talk about anybody? She said that if any channel out there talks about her, if they do a video on her, has her name in it, you're in a drama community, okay? How many names, or how many people does Natasha, and as soon as Natasha said this, she's talking about somebody else. Again, she's the only one that is allowed to talk about anybody. Bow to the queen. She's the only one allowed to do it. Nobody else is, and she's not even supposed to be on YouTube. All right? She's not. But if anybody else talks about her, oh no, better not have it. So she's telling people, if you see anybody talking about using my name, I think she's trying to trademark her name. I have no idea. Again, she's allowed to, but nobody else is. Go strike them. And then she said MRB was reading out their comments or whatever. So I got the replay. So I did go over there. And when she was saying that, because they were streaming, I think it was, they weren't reading out her comments when she said that. Mama Knows Best was not reading out comments. But right after she said that, then Natasha was reading out comments on Mama Knows Best. But that's okay. Because, see, Natasha's the queen of YouTube, right? But she told all of her people to go over and strike Mama Knows Best. Make it make sense. In the comments, too, they were talking about Voice's grandmother. They said, go take care of your grandmother. Now, Natasha went ballistic when her grandmother's name was even mentioned, right? We remember that with Barb's video. Nothing bad was said about her grandmother. Now, I don't agree what Voices said about the spirit box. No. No, ma'am. I don't agree with that. Those spirit boxes are funky anyways. Um, no, I don't agree with what was said about Natasha's aunt, okay? But in the chat, in Natasha's chat, they're talking about Voice's grandmother. It's okay. It's Natasha's community. They can do, they didn't say anything bad. They were mentioning her grandmother. I mean, why are you allowed to do that? And then somebody else in the chat said MRB needs to show her the proof of her attorneys. Um, that's real rich. I don't think someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think MRB had a fundraiser for any type of attorneys. Did she? Didn't she? I don't know if she did or not, but Natasha did, and she's not showing any proof of hers. And it's going on a year now. So I'm going to end this. This is going to be part 1. We're going to go into part 2, and I'll probably release these back to back. And then, I don't know. We'll just see how this all plays out.